this movie tells the story of two teenage boys who are hunted by an entity that looks like the one they desire the most, which is each other. A good way to describe this movie would be It Follows meets conversion therapy, heavy on the It Follows. Now, before going to see this movie, I've seen the trailer a couple of times in theaters before, and I saw there were some comparisons to It Follows already. Now, it's been a number of years since I've seen It Follows, and I've only seen it one time, and I was not necessarily the biggest fan of that movie. I thought it was okay. So seeing all of that before going to see this movie, in the bottom of my mind, I was like, I hope I like this movie. I just hope it's solid. Now, after leaving the theater, I will say this. This will probably most definitely end up in my top 10 horror surprises of this year, because I did not expect to like this movie as much as I did. I did not expect it to make the twist that it did, because that was a gut punch. And overall, I had a really solid time with this movie, and I did not expect to like this movie as much as I did. So going into the pros for this movie, this has really good atmosphere. It has really good shots, especially when it came to like the church. And this is what I picked up on with the church vibes of feeling out of place in that kind of community. And I've definitely felt that way before when I was younger. So I definitely connected with some parts of that story with just how the feeling with the church, and did a really good job on that part. Even when I first heard the gospel song, I'm like, oh, that brought me back to those days heavy. So they did a really good job there. This has really good performances from Naeem and Ryan. I think they did a good job there too. I also enjoyed the runtime of this movie. Now, it is very short. I think it's like an hour, 22-minute song. And I know some people can say they don't like it because it could be too short for them. But I actually enjoyed the length, and it passed by the pace. Well, we'll do the first half, but for the majority of the time, I enjoyed the pace and where things went. And once we like picked up on a certain part of the movie, I was like, hold up. And the way it ends, I'm like, I've never felt a runtime work for me so well in a movie. Although it could be a little too short for some people, and you definitely could have added a few minutes, because there's one thing I wish they did change out that would have improved it just a little bit. This also has some solid gore when you get it, kills when you get it, and I really enjoy a certain twist they pull, and how the ending also connects to the beginning in a way. I was paying really close attention when I was watching this movie, so when it came to the ending, it almost mirrored how everything started in a way, and I can definitely appreciate that, and that's something I think they did a really good job kind of mirroring in a way. Good job on that up front. Going into the mixed. Now, the ending is more open-ended, and this is just a preference thing. I preferred the ending of this movie not to be as open-ended as it was. Now, I understand there's definitely symbolism throughout the entire movie and definitely the ending, but I just would have preferred it if it was as open-minded. And another part is like the first few minutes I struggled with a little bit. Once we actually got into like the entity kind of stuff, locked in, but I struggled a little bit with just the first few minutes. But overall, it didn't take away too much from my experience with this movie. And I only have one negative, which is the CGI fire. So that's like the only thing I can just knock it down for. And now, before we get into the spoiler section, another thing I just want to mention is who something is first revealed to. I think if they changed who was first learned something, I think it would have made something towards the end hit a lot harder. And I wish they maybe even extra added a few minutes of having one person learn first before the other person. That definitely would have hit a little harder, but that's just something I thought of. I think I wish they changed a little bit. But going into the spoiler section of this video, the twist, oh my god. When I was watching this movie and everything was happening with the entity, and the mother said, I did not expect it to go that way, learning that she knew this entire time, I was like, oh, that is such a gut punch, knowing that your own mother put you through there. And you see this relationship between the mother and Naeem throughout the film, but not even believing him, that was a gut punch. And at that moment, I was like, oh my god. And that's when I like jumped out of my seat. I'm like, oh, whoa. That was a really good twist. That really puts a knife to your heart there sometimes. And even when you actually get like the ending of Name, after burning fake Ryan into the fire where everything started, he goes to the bus stop and he and Ryan go off on the bus and he sees the entity of Ryan just standing there. And again, there is definitely symbolism there. I'm not saying there's not. But again, I just would have preferred if the entity got burned in the fire. So that's just my preference. I know people have different preferences for that. But man, it was a lot. And I liked let's just talk about the opening and the ending. Now, the opening, where everything I say started, is in that building. And you see them fighting, and then you have the thing they were trying to lift up and them kind of fighting. And they kind of did like a replica towards the end. And that tiny detail I really, really liked. How he just like lifted the thing he was trying to lift before, and they fought, and he kind of ended it there. That was a nice touch. And even then, how you can kind of tell the difference between real Ryan and fake Ryan. You could definitely tell just by how they were behaving. Now, it did fool me just for 1 second in one scene only. But they did a really good job at like really showing real Ryan versus fake Ryan just by the behaviors. And it kind of behaviors, but I want to say I don't even know. This movie, I did not expect any of this movie. I did not expect like as much as I did. There's just so much. And even being able, and even just like going to the church kind of vibe. I cannot tell you how when that scene plays when they first go to the church, how that really did actually bring me back to that place when I was younger. And I'm saying this as someone who necessarily didn't feel fit into that community. I'm not saying that I'm straight, but I've just felt very uncomfortable when I was younger in that kind of environment. And I think they kind of captured that feeling very well in a way that I could connect with it. I'm very aware of the story and what it's trying to say. And I think they did a really good job telling that story. Now, the bus scene, though, what a place to do something, man. When they started doing that on the bus, that was public, man. That was very public, and then that one also came out of nowhere. So yeah, that was something. So comment down below if you saw this movie. Did you like it? Not like it? Comment down below and let's have a conversation. I also want to say, when we have topics like this in a movie, it's also important to listen to the voices of those in the LGBTQ community.